Alright guys, what is going on, and welcome back to the Bit of Footy YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be running through my round 23 tips for the 2024 AFL Premiership season. Now last round, in round number 22, I did pretty average tipping wise. I got a total of 3 out of 9 tips correct last round in round number 22. As you can see on the screen right now, these are the tips that I got correct and incorrect. And well, I only got 3 tips correct, and they were the Cats tip, the Power tip, and the Saints tip. Every other tip I did in fact get incorrect. I could have got so many of these tips correct, but so many of the teams that were down at like 3/4 time came back and won. So whoop-de-bloody-do. But yeah, I got 3 out of 9 tips last round, and that currently has me in 23rd spot in my own tipping competition, and I'm on a total points tally of 112 points in total. Jesus. In first spot, again, and again, we have got Yusuf, who got 6 out of 9 tips in round number 22, which is pretty impressive considering how hard it was to tip last round. And Yusuf is on a total points tally of 127 points in total. God damn, Yusuf. God damn. But yeah, without further ado, let's take a look and see what my tips are for round number 23 of the 2024 AFL Premiership season. Alrighty, kicking off round number 23, we've got the game tonight between the Bombers and the Swans at I was going to say the Marvel Stadium. At Marvel Stadium, the Bombers, they're coming off a loss against the Suns, which was after the siren, and the Swans are coming off a 3-point win against my Pies, sadly. Yeah, should be an alright game, this one. Normally is between the Bombers and the Swans, especially down in Melbourne. But I'm going to be tipping the Swans in this one. I know they weren't at their 100% best against us last round. But, you know, they came back and won, and I reckon they're going to take a lot of confidence from what they did in that comeback and bring it into this game and be able to beat the Bombers. I do think the Bombers will, you know, bring a good challenge towards the Swans, but I think the Swans will be a little bit too good in the end and make it 2 wins on the bounce as we head into September. So yeah, I'm tipping the Swans in this one over the Bombers. Then we move on to the Saturday games. We'll kick it off with the Suns taking on Melbourne at People First Stadium. People First Stadium, Jesus. The Suns, they're coming off that exhilarating win after the siren against the Bombers. The D's, they're coming off a 2-point loss to the hands of the Power, but the D's, they actually played alright in that game. It was a very sluggish sort of game. It was a very defensive sort of game, which is why the scores in the end were like 53-51 in Port Adelaide's favour. But yeah, you know, the D's, they played alright in that game. Hopefully they can play alright in this game and make it a good contest, and I reckon they sort of will. But I reckon the Suns will take a lot of confidence from that win last round, their first win away from home, and they'll get the win in this game over the D's at People First Stadium. So yeah, I'm tipping the Suns in this one over the D's. Then we move on to the next Saturday game, another 1:45 game. We've got the Giants taking on Fremantle at NG Stadium. The Giants, they're coming off that 18-point win over the Lions. What a win that was for the Giants. They were down and out in the first quarter, then they came back in and won the game in the end. Darcy Jones, I think his name is, was absolutely phenomenal, and Cadman as well, stepping up to the occasion and guiding the Giants home by 18 points. The Dockers, what are they coming off? The Dockers are coming off an 11-point loss against the Cats. Yeah, they played alright in that game. The Dockers, you know, they didn't have Tracy up front, so it was a bit of a different look in their forward line for them. And they still played alright, but, you know, they didn't get the chockies in that game. Hopefully they play alright in this game. I can see it being a sort of close game, but I feel like with with the way that the Giants are going at the moment, they're going to be hard to beat at home. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Giants in this one against the Dockers at their home deck. They're just playing some very good footy at the moment. They look hungry at the moment, the Giants. They just look so together as well. And, you know, if they can go deep into September, you just never know what could happen. They're just looking like a scary side at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Giants in this one over the Dockers. Then we move on to the twilight game on the Saturday. And I feel like it's been a while since we've had a twilight game on the Saturday because it is my Pies taking on the Lions at the MCG. My Pies are sadly coming off that 3-point loss against the Swans, and the Lions, they're coming off that 18-point loss against the Giants. So both teams are coming into this game off the back of losses. Should be an alright game. This one, earlier in the season, we did get the Chockies over the Lions at the Gabba when both teams had 0-3 starts. But a lot has happened since that moment. The Lions, they're in some very good form. My Pies, they're 50-50 in this at this point of the season. We played alright against the Swans last round. We probably should have won that game, but you know, the Swans, they ended up coming back and beating us. The Lions, they're in front as well. They maybe should have won their game against the Giants, and the Giants came back and beat them. So, you know, both of these teams, both of us have had, you know, games where we probably should have won and we didn't end up winning. So, you know, I feel like both of us are gonna, you know, be a little bit frustrated and want to come into this game and get the victory. I'm gonna be tipping my Pies in this one to get the job done at the MCG. I feel like the Lions, they're a bit, well, I feel like we all know they're a bit 50-50 at the MCG. They can get a win here and there, but sometimes they can perform a little bit below their best at the MCG. So yeah, I'm going to be tipping my Pies to get the job done in this one. I feel like we just have to win this one because we just never know. We just never know. So I feel like we just have to put it all out there in this game. And I reckon that's what we're going to do. So yeah, I'm tipping my Pies to get the job done in this game. Come on, the Pies. Then we move on to the 2 Saturday night games. We'll kick it off with the Saints taking on the Cats at Marvel Stadium. The Saints, they're coming off a 58-point win or 48-point win against the Tigers. Yeah, 48-point win, my apologies. And the Cats, they're coming off an 11-point win over the Dockers. Should be an interesting one, this one. I'm not going to lie. Should be very interesting because, you know, the Saints at Marvel, they're a bit of a different prospect. I mean, don't ask the Lions that, but they can be a tough team to beat here and there at Marvel. They tend to play right at Marvel, considering it is their home ground. But, you know, the Cats, they're in such good form at the moment. They're coming off a very good win away from home at Optus Stadium against the Dockers. They're just in a good mood at the moment, the Cats. So I'm going to be tipping the Cats in this one over the Saints at Marvel Stadium. But you just never know. And then we move on to the last game on the Saturday. We've got the Power taking on the Crows at the Adelaide Oval, of course. It'd be weird if they had it anywhere else. The Power, they're coming off a 2-point win against the D's. The Crows, they're coming off a very big win over the Dogs. Big win as in, you know, margin-wise. I love showdowns. You just never know what the result's going to be. And I just feel like the Crows, they had a bit of fun last round, and I reckon they're going to take a lot of confidence from what they did last round and have a bit of fun this round against the Power and be able to beat the Power in this one. I'm tipping the Crows in this showdown over the Power. I don't know what it is. I just feel like the Crows are just going to come out full of run and be able to get the job done in this one. I feel like it's going to be a close one. I don't feel like it's going to be a showdown blowout, but I reckon the Crows are going to come away with the Chockies in this one. So I'm tipping the Crows in this one over the Power. And then we move on to the 3 Sunday games. We kick it off with the Dogs taking on North Melbourne. The Dogs are coming off that loss against the Crows. The Roos are coming off a loss against the Eagles. Another game where the Roos probably should have won, but didn't end up winning. I'm going to be tipping the Dogs in this one. I feel like they'll be a little bit frustrated with the way that they played last round against the Crows. It really wasn't up to the Dog standard that we've seen the past few rounds before they played the Crows. So yeah, I reckon they're going to come back in this game, get back into winning ways before the final series kicks off. So yeah, I'm tipping the Dogs in this one over the Roos. Then we move on to the 3:20 game on the Sunday. We've got the Hawks taking on the Tigers. The Hawks are coming off a big win against the Blues, which put them into the top 8, if you don't mind. And the Tigers, they're coming off that 48-point loss to the hands of the Saints. I'm going to be tipping the Hawks in this one over the Tigers. The Hawks, they've just been exciting to watch. They've just been playing some very good team footy together. They just understand what each other have to do. They understand their roles perfectly at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Hawks in this one over the Tigers. And the last game of the round, we've got the Eagles taking on Carlton at Optus Stadium. The Eagles are coming off that comeback win against North Melbourne. The Blues, they're coming off a pretty big loss to the hands of Hawthorn, and unfortunately for the Blues, they picked up a few injuries, not a few, a lot of injuries in that game against Hawthorn, and I do think that is going to impact the result in this game. I do think the Eagles are going to come away with the win in this one. I feel like they're going to take a lot of confidence from that comeback win against the Blues, and I feel like we need to talk about Oscar Allen and his performance against North Melbourne. What an inspirational captain's performance that was. He kicked 5 goals, and he just looks in the mood at the moment. He just looks in the mood with Waterman up there as well. So yeah, I'm going to be tipping the Eagles in this one over the Blues. And I can't believe I'm saying that, really, considering the season that the Blues have had compared to the Eagles. But yeah, it really comes down to the team that the Blues have at the moment. They don't have their 2 forwards up front, their 2 main forwards up front being Curnow and Mackay this game. So I reckon they're going to struggle a little bit. They could come away with the victory, you never know. But I think the Eagles, with the forward line they have, and with the team they have, and with the confidence that they should take from that win against North Melbourne, I think the Eagles will get the Chockies in this one over the Blues. And those are my tips done and dusted for this round of footy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will be vlogging the Pies versus Lions game on the Saturday, so that should be out on the Sunday. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Come on the Pies. And yeah, cheers guys for watching. Cheers.